Yo, what is up everyone? This is OJ over here from PlayerEssence and welcome to another video that I have here for you guys. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I really didn't want to have to do because I was hoping that Star Fox Zero was better when I actually finished it and when I got acclimated to the controls and when I even played co-op. But unfortunately, Star Fox Zero is ruined pretty much by the controls of the game and not having the option to just play with the normal controller and the game being built around the gimmick of using the gamepad. Honestly, I don't think it was a good decision for Nintendo to do this. So to give you guys a little bit of background, I was not provided a review copy from Nintendo, even though they provided me a review copy for Pokken Tournament, and I did a really good job and they seemed happy with my review. My coverage of Pokken Tournament got a ton of views and it seemed like everything was okay. I thought I was going to get a review copy, but I ended up not getting one. That was okay. My friend who also works in the gaming media, he got a review copy and I was able to go over to his place and play it selectively for times when I had the opportunity. We actually played through co-op, fully played through co-op together, and I also played through the single player by myself as well throughout various days when I had time to go over there later in the evening. That's the reason why it's also taken me quite some time, because I was only able to play it in 30 to 45 minute spurts. But I mean, it's not that long of a game, but you know, there was other stuff that we were doing and talking about as far as collaborations and things like that. But overall, this game, the controls, in my opinion, really ruin it, and Miyamoto was definitely the mastermind behind these controls and how it works. I think this is what he wanted to do in the game. This was his vision for using the gamepad, and I don't think it works. Like, it worked in Splatoon as far as using the gamepad, because just like I said before, Splatoon, your character is stationary. Like, you completely control movement of your character, so therefore your axis in your brain isn't messing with you because, hey, I can move this, then I can use the gyro. It's cool. But in a rail shooter where you're trying to boost and you're trying to look at the controls and then you're looking at the TV, you're looking at the gamepad for the cockpit view, it just doesn't work like Splatoon, where you're constantly just looking at the TV and then you might just look down to use the map for blasting off to another squid. So the people that were trying to draw the parallels to there isn't as much of a parallel to there. And Splatoon's a much better game than Star Fox Zero. Underneath the really bad controls is a halfway decent, if not better, good Star Fox game. I think the controls are really just what bog it down. I really wish that they would have just focused on making a tight, good Star Fox game with online multiplayer that you can play with the gamepad if you want to play with the gamepad, or you can play with the Pro Controller. I do have some ideas of how they could have used the gamepad in this game. And before I actually get into how I would like to see the gamepad being used in this game, I do want to say that yes, I do think Miyamoto was the one behind these controls, just because Platinum Games have made 2 titles, exclusive games, on the Wii U, and both of them have gamepad usage. The Wonderful 101 has heavy gamepad usage, and you would think that that game can only be played with the gamepad, but no. You can use the Pro Controller in the Wonderful 101 and draw all the shapes yourself. Even though the game was literally built around the gamepad as far as the shapes and the powers and everything, they still gave you the option to use the Pro Controller and just draw them manually. And with Bayonetta 2, you can use the gamepad to touch and do attacks for like easy mode, but of course you can also use the Pro Controller. So Platinum Games has never forced any type of gamepad stuff onto people in their titles for the Wii U. They've never done it, so that's why I think that it was Shigeru Miyamoto who forced this type of gameplay, who built this type of structure, and I really do think that it's a detriment to the game. But to get into how I think this should have been used, especially considering Platinum Games' pedigree, I think that anytime you did like a sick dodge, or like you deflected something, or you got a really good kill, or maybe even built up a meter, you can activate some type of slowdown or witch time or bullet time. And that's when you actually look at the gamepad and get precision shots. The shots can be more powerful. You can do different types of things there. I think it should have been explored that way. So it's just a time period, like a small time period, like a witch time, or like the Wonderful 101 has as well. I do think that that's how they should have used it, just periodic time whenever you do something, or you can activate it, and that's when you go into cockpit view and you can get extra shots. I think that that would have been a far better use of the gamepad than actually making it to where it's constantly having to move it back and forth and use it and just really just be discombobulated at times, because the controls just aren't fantastic. They're just not as sharp and as tight as you would expect in a Nintendo game. That way you don't alienate people who just want to play the game normally, and the game isn't dependent on the gamepad. The bullet time and stuff can easily be done also with a Pro Controller. The cockpit view would just be transferred to the TV instead of having a separate screen. Going forward with Nintendo and the franchise, I do think that Nintendo needs to make the Star Fox game that people actually want to play. I see that they're trying to use the gamepad, but a lot of Star Fox 64 fans would have loved to see the multiplayer that was completely stripped out, with online play, with dogfights, with teams, things like that. Nintendo has advanced their technology up to this point to where online play is a thing. You would think back in the day, like, hey, yeah, someday you're going to be able to play Star Fox 64 online in dogfights on a console, on a home console, and still to this point it still hasn't happened. Nearly 2 decades later, we still haven't got that Star Fox home console experience with online and dogfights, which is just a shame. So hopefully on the Nintendo NX, Nintendo can look at the feedback, can look at what gamers actually want, and make the Star Fox game that the fans are expecting and want. And then if you want to add some extra things in there to tighten it up, that's cool. But please, just for next time, I hope that Nintendo listens to the fans and we can get a Star Fox game that has just amazing graphics, amazing online gameplay, normal controls. Please, normal controls. Alright, so that's my take on the matter. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. How are you liking Star Fox Zero? What do you feel about the controls? Do you feel that they should have done things differently? Alright guys, that basically wraps it up for this video here. Make sure you hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And also subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips and tricks, and everything on Nintendo. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.